Good morning, everyone. So good to have you. I'm at Gangneung. This is my hotel. But let's continue our talk on the life of David. 1 Samuel chapter 17. David is walking toward Goliath here, and he's not wearing any kind of armor. There's no shield or sword, just shepherd's bag, a sling and stone, and a bunch of Israel army paralyzed behind him. And this teenager boy, a shepherd boy, walks forward towards this Philistine giant. Goliath gets bigger and bigger with every step, and the Philistine giant is laughing at him. Is this some kind of joke? Come here, he says. I'm going to feed you to the birds. David keeps walking forward. See, most people, when they think of this particular scene, they remember the stone, the sling, and the giant falling flat on his face, but they miss the walk. The Israelites had the same God David had, the same history with the same promises, the same stories of Red Sea crossing, with manna coming from heaven and walls tumbling down, but they were frozen for 40 days. David walked forward. Now you have to ask the question, what's the difference then? David's confidence rested on something other than himself. The Israelites were not cowards. They had fought wars before, but for this particular situation, Goliath just seemed unbeatable. They saw the circumstance as them versus God, and forgot who was already standing on the field. And we do the same thing. Sometimes something comes against us and we size it up, we measure it, we think through it, and it just seems too big in our eyes, so we freeze. A difficult situation that seems to have no solution, a sin we cannot break out, life bearing down that we have no answers for, and we stand there frozen, running the situation over and over and over, and the situation never resolves. Because we forget the God who is with us, already working in the situations. David did not say, God is on my side. That is not what he said. Read the passage slowly and you'll see it. He said something closer to the opposite of that. He knew he was on God's side. The battle belonged to God. David simply made himself available. The Bible says, you come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. He was not announcing how brave, how courageous, how strong he was. He was simply pointing to a God who was already in motion. The name of the Lord of heaven's army. That is what he brought to the field. Not better weapon, not better shield or sword, not unusual bravery and courage, a different understanding of who the battle belonged to. David and Goliath is not ultimately a story about David. If you walk away thinking, I need to be brave like David, courageous like David, I need to go fight my giants, you're getting something, but you're missing the very person that you're supposed to focus on. The real story is about God who fights for his people when his people cannot fight for themselves. A God who, in the fullness of time, sent his own son to walk toward the cross none of us could face. Not a giant. Something worse, our own sin, death, the full payment of what we have done and what we are. Jesus walked toward that. He had no armor, he had no sword or shield, just a cross and a borrowed tomb and the sneering and mockery of every watching eye. The whole thing looked like defeat. But was it? 1 John 3:8 tells us the Son of God came to destroy the works of the devil, and he did. He went out as an army of one, and he won. Is there something in front of you right now, my friends? You may know or may not know what that is. A relationship that will not heal, a fear that keeps you awake at night, something you've been trying to outwork or outlast for years, and it's still there, still big, still waiting for you every morning when you open your eyes. The Israelites stared at Goliath for 40 days. 40 days of same giant, the same valley, the same taunting voice. And Goliath got bigger and bigger. And they felt like they were getting smaller and smaller. And that is what happens when you carry what was never yours to carry. And the situation begins to feel like it's permanent, it'll be there forever. What they needed was not a better strategy. What they needed was not better program. They needed to remember who was already on the field standing on their behalf. And here's what the cross settled. The worst thing that could ever come against you, your sin, your guilt, the full record of everything you have done and everything you are. It already came to the field. It was armed, sword, shield, came to convict you. It came certain of the outcome. And then Jesus walked toward it with nothing but the name of his Father and love and willingness to lay his life down. And 3 days later, the one who walked into the field of death walked out of the tomb alive, glorious. He is risen. And that is what David had. He knew the battle belonged to the Lord. It was never about his courage, his unusual trust. It was about God who fight for you. And on the basis of that, David walked forward. The giant before you is real. But if you keep measuring yourself against the problem, you will lose. Measure the problem against God, who loves you and cares for you. Measure the problem against Jesus, who loves you and cares for you. So walk forward. Walk forward because God, who was already standing on that field, is standing on yours. Walk forward because the war is settled, the tomb is empty, and the one who won it is for you. The battle was never yours to win. It was always his, and he won. God bless you, and have an amazing, amazing day.